Obviously, got to start off with the main event, Dustin versus Dustin 2. Can't wait for it, super excited. There's so many storylines going into this. Haven't even mentioned the BMF belt. Obviously gonna get into that, give my thoughts on that. Just from a stylistic standpoint, obviously it seems like we're gonna get another brawl. These are two guys that absolutely thrive in the heat of battle. A lot of people clench up, they get nervous, they look for the easy way out. These guys are running towards the fire in situations like these. I don't think it'd be exaggeration to say that this could be one of the greatest fights ever in the history of combat sports. These are two guys that just bring it every time. They provide violence every time, and they're really hard to knock out. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see a fight of the century type of fight. If you love Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald, this has potential to be even better, and that's not crazy to say. It's super interesting because both these guys are literally at the same spot in their career. They're both making one last run at the title. Justin has said that publicly. Dustin, we'd assume that's the case. It sucks that one of these guys has to lose this fight, but at the very least, one of them will inevitably be next in line for a title shot. The super underrated storyline here has to be the fight being in Utah because it is at altitude. Justin trains at altitude and Dustin does not, and I feel like there will definitely be an advantage for Justin in that aspect of it, but in a recent interview, Dustin said he'll be trying his best to prepare for it, and at the very least it seems like he's very well aware of it, which is important because a lot of these guys in Utah last year in August, they looked really gassed after a round or two, especially Leon Edwards versus Kamaru. But Kamaru didn't look gassed because, as you know, him and Justin are teammates and they train in Colorado, so that is higher altitude than it would be in Utah. So obviously the advantage there goes for Justin, and it's something that you really have to prepare for if you're in Dustin's position. The fact that this is for the BMF belt, yeah, obviously a lot of people don't like it, and I don't blame them, but honestly I think it's cool. I don't look at it as BMF, I look at it as most violent motherfucker instead. It'd be tough to argue against the winner not deserving that title of most violent MFer in the UFC. So therefore, you know, the BMF belt doesn't really bother me because I choose to look at it in that light. You know how the UFC is though? They're gonna want to put something on the line if you're headlining a pay-per-view, but I really didn't feel like it was necessary. At the same time, however, I really don't have a problem with it. Let me know what you guys think about that, by the way. Should that belt be on the line? I think it's kind of fun. I think it could be something that could be defended. I mean, in theory, it should be defended, but why not? It's cool to put things like this on the line. It just brings some different level of excitement. In the UFC, everything's so black and white. You're either fighting for the title or you're a pretender, and I don't really like that. This could open up a new division for guys who maybe are never gonna be at that top spot and just always like to fight and put on these big shows and are the most violent dudes in the company. I mean, why not? It's fun. It's something that could take on a life of its own as the years go on. If I had to predict who would win, I guess, well, Dustin's my favorite fighter, so I guess I would pick him, but it's as close to pick him as you could possibly get. Again, the altitude will play into this in a big way. I feel like if Dustin's not prepared for it, Justin will win this fight. And against Raphael, Justin looked amazing to me. Maybe his best performance ever besides that Tony fight. Honestly, you're stupid if you ever bet against Dustin in these types of fights. He thrives the most. It's pretty obvious. He's beat Michael Chandler, Eddie Alvarez, Conor McGregor, Justin Gaethje already. He thrives in these situations, and he seems to always be the one coming out on top against guys like this of these styles. Who do you guys think will win that? Let me know.